Let's do it! Oh, it's Anton. Love to compare. Yes, it's Anton. Talk to myself. I say like this, let's do a quiz. Cause I'm Anton. It's time for Anton's antics. That's me. Oh, it's Anton. I might get stressed. Oh, it's Anton. Create a big mess. I'm a bit crazy, love a French pastry. Cause I'm Anton. It's time for Anton's antics. That's me. Get ready for a Bible story. First of all, Freedom of Fear 3, histories. Here they are, special treat. Skito's gonna drop a thumping bass line. But don't forget, this show's all about me. Oh, it's Anton. I'm sometimes wrong. Come on, clap, let's go to Anton's song. I'm quite silly, but still loves me. Hold on, Anton. It's time for Anton's antics. My mama is quite frantic. It's time for Anton's antics. That's me. Hey, yes, boys and girls. Good to have you back for a brand new live show coming at you live right now. That's it. In Sydney, Australia, to the world. Where are you from? Where are you coming at? Where are you? Tell us now. Anton, give you a shout out later on. Love to hear where you are, what you're doing. Get your questions. Get your comments ready. We got a brand new show today, boys and girls. Freedom from Fear number 3. Yes, we go back to Mark's Gospel. It's going to be fantastical. Tell your friends. Get them to watch too. Right now. Okay, now, remember, how you going in isolation, huh? How are you traveling with all the lockdown, staying home from school with the coronavirus? What are you going to do? Hey, I heard they might let some of you go back to school. Yes, Sydney, Australia, they might let some kids go back to school. So what can you do with the worry, the fear, the anxiety of the coronavirus? Or catching up on school, all of that, right? It's a worry, it's a fear. But we got a solution. Ding! Anton to the rescue. Yes, every day, boys and girls, to fight this virus, I tell you what to do. What you got to do? You got to get up, out of bed in the morning. You clap once. You turn around. You clap again. Clap twice. You turn the other way. Clap 3 times. We go halfway this way, halfway that way. Ready? Yes, and that will keep the virus away and all the fears. What do you think? Anton, I'm not so sure about that. Come on, boys and girls, get up off your feet. Give it a go. Ready? Let's get moving with Anton with coronavirus remedy number 1. Ready? Let's fight the fear. Up out of bed. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Clap once. Turn around. Clap it twice. Clap again. Clap it twice. Other way. Clap it 3 times. Halfway this way. Halfway that way. We got to go. I'm not so sure about that one, Anton. I'm not sure they're buying it. Ding! Anton has another idea. Yes, the government say we can go out by 2 by 2. Hurrah! Hurrah! We can go out by 2 by 2. Hurrah! But how are we going to stop getting the virus? Ding! Anton has an idea. You take a tennis ball with you to school, wherever, like this one. Yes, and you hand sanitize. But every time you pass the ball when you see somebody, so you do not touch. You pass the ball, you play the game, hand sanitize, you pass it back. Anyway, I show you how it works. First, hand sanitize. Grab the ball. Pass to the person you're going to meet first. Good catch. Now, hand sanitize. Yes, pass it back. Nice catch. Hand sanitize again. We got to do this 3 times, boys and girls, before we can meet. Hand sanitize. Pass the ball back. Nice catch. Hand sanitize. And back again. Nice. One more time. Then we're good to go. Hand sanitize. Pass the ball. Oh, you didn't catch. I have to go get it now, Bex. Come here, little ball. Where are you, little ball? We got to keep playing this game. I got to show the boys and girls how it works. Anton, what are you doing? I'm showing the boys and girls how to fight the fear of the coronavirus. What, with a tennis ball? Yes. We'll pass it back and forth until the virus goes away. How does that work? Well, your hands sanitize in between each of the passes of the ball, and eventually the virus wears down. It cannot beat us. We beat it with the constant wearing down and the constant hand sanitize. Right, okay. Interesting. I'm not sure I'm convinced. You think the boys and girls are convinced out there? What do you think, boys and girls? You're convinced of Anton's ideas? You think he's got something here? You think he can help us fight the fears of the coronavirus? Listen, Anton, I think you better listen to today's story, because there's someone in our story today who's fighting the fear of disease. I think it'll help you and all the boys and girls. So, tune in. G'day, everybody. Welcome again. Hello from all of you joining us for Anton's Antics live stream here on Facebook. It's great to have you back, and it's awesome to have you with us, learning from the Bible and tuning in. How are you going in isolation, eh? We are going to return to Mark's Gospel today. So get your questions and comments ready. Give us a shout out. Let us know where you are. And stay tuned, because we're going to just do a quick recap of what we did in the first 2 episodes. All right. If you remember and you were watching, we were in Mark's Gospel chapter 4 initially. And in that part of the Gospel, the disciples with Jesus in a boat crossed to the other side of the Lake of Galilee, or the sea, and a great storm whipped up, but Jesus saved them by just speaking to the wind and the waves. And they said, who can speak to winds and waves and tell it what to do? They were more afraid of Jesus than they were of the wind and the storm, the natural disaster. Jesus showed he had the power of God to save. Then, in the next episode, they got to the other side of the lake. They met a man full of evil, pure evil. What can you do? That's worse than a natural disaster. That's uncontrollable. No one could solve this problem. They'd discarded this man to the tombs. But Jesus simply spoke the word again and sent the evil into the sea, and the man was restored fully back to health. Who else but God himself could speak to evil and just get rid of it? Well, today we follow Jesus back again, because the people of that region sent him away. They got in the boat and they travelled to the other side of the lake. So they leave that region. They leave the man who's been restored, who was full of evil and who's now become whole again. And they leave him behind as he goes and preaches to the 10 cities of that region, telling all the people there who don't know anything about Jesus, because it's not particularly a Jewish region, about what Jesus had done and how he had been saved. And this man, was able to go back to his family, go back and live, not in isolation and in fear and in possession of evil, but actually restored and whole again. And not only did he do that, he told people where they could also find such wonderful rescue and peace in Jesus' name. So, today, Jesus moves across the sea, having been told to leave that region because they didn't like him disrupting their economy. All their pigs got thrown into the sea, so that wasn't a great thing for them. And they were more afraid about how that might affect their lifestyle and their income than about this man's health and his restoration. Well, Jesus lands on the other side of the lake. And this region is much more Jewish people living there. It's a territory which is inhabited by the Jewish people. The boat lands and Jesus gets out. And wherever Jesus gets out on this kind of territory, we see him, surrounded. We see people flock to him and try and get a look in to him and see what he's going to do, see him teach, see him heal. And people would come from all different walks of life, whether they were wealthy, whether they were poor, whether they were sick, if they were healthy, they might come to hear him teach, or just to have a gawk at what sort of miracles he might do. And so large crowds gathered around him and the disciples as they landed and came ashore. And a man who was a leader in the synagogue, he came, a man named Jairus, and he had a problem. Jairus had a very sick daughter, and he came to Jesus and begged him for help. He ran up to Jesus and he threw his arms on the ground before him. And he said, Jesus, Jesus, come quickly. My daughter is about to die. Come and lay your hands on her so that she might live and be saved. And Jesus said, all right, I'll go with you. And the people, the crowd, they're going, all right, this looks pretty good. Let's follow this. Let's see what's going to happen here, because this could be a pretty cool healing if Jesus can save this girl from certain death. Now, there was a woman who was not part of the crowd, or not yet anyway. And she would been in isolation for a long time. See, imagine us at the moment. We're in isolation. We know what it's like to be separated from friends and family for a few weeks, a few months perhaps. But this woman had been in isolation for 12 years. See, she had a flow of blood from, we're not sure exactly how, whether it's from pregnancy, post-pregnancy, or her monthly period that just didn't stop. And no matter what she did, it didn't get better. And so she comes into this crowd. Now, this woman is not meant to touch anybody. This woman is supposed to stay away. If you touch her, well, you've got to go into isolation too. If you touch her, you've got to wash your clothes, you've got to wash yourself and stay in isolation for 7 days. If she stops her flow of blood, she's got to go into isolation for 7 days until it's completely cleared, and then offer sacrifices at the temple and so forth to the priest so that she can be restored into the community. Otherwise, she's got to stay away. No cafes. You sit down on her chair, you've got to go into isolation too for a day and wash your clothes. So she's got a problem. She can't hang out with people for 12 years. That's tough, isn't it? We think it's tough right at the moment with isolation, you know. We're looking for all ways of getting out of it. Well, the woman thinks, maybe I can get help from Jesus. Maybe he can help me. You see, this woman had suffered much. 12 years is a long time, isn't it? 12 years is a very long time to suffer from an illness and not get better, to try all kinds of doctors and not see any progress. And that's what she did. See, the ancient world had remedies for this kind of thing. You ready for a bit of horrible histories, boys and girls? Ready for a bit of horrible histories? Okay, so this woman, some of the treatments she might have tried would have been things like, one doctor up the lake there might have prescribed to her for her to crush up alum and rubber and garden crocuses so that she might drink it and be better. Well, she probably tried that one. Expensive, didn't work. Another doctor up in the hills, perhaps prescribed her with crushing up Persian onions and drinking it with wine. Another expensive piece of advice which didn't actually get her anywhere. And so she tried one thing after the other. Another guy tried some shock therapy. Boo! Ha! That was another doctor. That was an expensive visit to the doctor. That didn't work. And so as Jesus moves along in the crowd to go to Jairus to heal the daughter that's very sick, the crowd bunches around. And this woman, who has suffered much, has been to many doctors and spent much money, knows this is a last straw. This is the only hope she's got left. You know, some people, some doctors she'd been to had tried to, tell her different remedies, and they hadn't made her any better. They'd only made her worse. So what is she going to do? She comes to Jesus, pushing through the crowd. You can imagine how you'd feel if someone you knew with coronavirus came through the crowd and reached past you and pushed past you. I mean, you'd be going, hey, keep your distance. But they're too busy following Jairus. They're too busy trying to find out what's going to happen to Jairus' daughter. And so this woman is able to walk into the crowd and try and touch Jesus' cloak. Now, this woman's not that different from you and I, really, is she? Trying everything, spending everything we've got to fix a big problem across the world, the virus. Will it work? Well, so far, governments and their efforts to curb the spread is working, isn't it? We're seeing a drop in cases in Australia and other countries who've implemented very fast this kind of isolation. But what if it didn't work? What if things got worse? No matter how much we tried, no matter how many jobs were lost, no matter how much we did, what would we do then? Well, this woman reaches out. She reaches out her hand. And she says, if I just touch Jesus' cloak, I'll be better. And as soon as she does, she knows the flow of blood has stopped. And Jesus too knows. Jesus knows that power has gone out from him. That's it. Now, there's no flash of light, there's no noise, there's no thunder or anything. But Jesus knew at that moment power had gone out from him, power from God. And he asked around to everyone who was with him, Who touched me? And the disciples and the crowd said, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? How can you say, who touched you? You can see all the crowd and everyone trying to get a piece of you, everyone trying to get a piece of the action. How can you ask, who touched me? But he kept asking, who touched me? The woman knew that he was speaking about her. And she came in front of Jesus into the crowd, just like Jairus did. She came humbly and scared, afraid of what Jesus would say. How dare you for touching me? Now I've got to go into isolation. Thanks. No, Jesus cared. She told him the whole story, every bit of the 12 long years that she was not healed, that she'd spent all her money, that she just thought if she touched his cloak, she'd get better. And Jesus said, well, look, it's not my fancy coat. It's not magic that saved you. Jesus says to her, you don't need to be afraid. It's not any magic like the doctors had prescribed. Instead, your trust was in me, my power to save. And he said, go in peace, daughter. Your faith has S-A-V has saved you. Go in peace. Your faith has saved you. Jesus cared about this woman who was an isolated person, someone who had been cast out of society, who had to leave and keep separate. Now, does Jesus care about little individuals? Of course, and he cares about you. Can Jesus save all sicknesses? Yes, he can, and we should pray about that. We should pray about the coronavirus. We should pray for an end to it. But Jesus didn't come just to heal people's sicknesses, or the world's for that matter. He came to save us from the ultimate enemy. He came to conquer as our king the great enemy, death. and provide an eternal future for us. So where is your faith? Where is your trust, boys and girls? Put it in Jesus. Well, someone who knows just how big a king Jesus is, what a great son of God he is, to be celebrated, who is for you, who is for me, is rapper Skito. Get your questions, get your comments ready if you've got them. Give us a shout out, because next up we've got Skito, the rapper, here to lead us in a memory verse and a great song. So let's do it. Let's find some beats. We'll check you later. Yeah, who we got here? Shout out to Elise from B-Craft. Nice to have you back again. Always love the regular. Shout out to Michael in Sutherland. Who else we got there? Let us know. Who's your leader? Who's your king? Who's the great leader out of this terror, uncertainty, fear? Isolation. There's one who breaks isolation. Yeah. What's his name? What's his name? The one who breaks out of isolation, brings us back into humanity. We've seen it today. The big JC. Let's take a look at the memory verse. Your faith has saved who? You. That's it. See what we got here. Alright, do you remember the memory verse from a couple of weeks back? It comes from Mark 5:36. Don't be. What is it, boys and girls? And all the stuff that's happening around the world, we got ourselves an A and a D. An F. Hey, we got another A. Don't be afraid. Just remember what he said to the disciples on the boat when they faced the fear or death itself with a natural disaster. Where should the faith and the hope be? And the big JC, don't be afraid, just what we got here. We got 3 of these guys. Too easy. Yeah. Don't be afraid. Just believe. And the people on the other side who sent Jesus away, they were afraid when they needed to believe. And today, we see someone who believes and is safe. It makes him not just a smart man, but the man above all man, the power of God, the eternal man, in whom we all have our only true hope. Who's for me? Who's for you? You ready? Who's looking out for me? Got my situation in control, immune to inflation. Stands in my shoes, though the imitation. Biggest brand name tucking up my station. Always with me, but despite my reputation. Takes my heat and condemnation. Puts me front row from the back section. What more you need to win election?
Who's for me? Who's for you?
Who was it is and is to come?
Who's for me? Who's for you?
Who's the first and last word said and done?
Who's for me? Who's for you?
Who was it is and is to come?
Who's for me? Who's for you?
Who's the first, last word said and done? God from heaven became a baby, a celebration. Normally, clear the way now, keep your shame, Joe. This one can sleep out with a hay blow. We wrap him up and keep him warm. Oh, we got the cloth that's torn. So cold it's to ruin your heart. For this with a rough start.
Who's for me? Who's for you?
Who was and is to come?
Who's for me? Who's for you?
Who's the first and last word said and done?
Who's for me? Who's for you?
Who was and is to come?
Who's for me? Who's for you?
Here's the first, last word said and done. Yeah, well, who's gonna eat with those who ain't legit? Speak with those wearing the wrong outfit. Bring equality, such a bunch of misfits. He's for me, he's for you. My God stood in my shoes. Not self-serving, but deserving of every pat on the back he's been earning. No greater love can one have than to give his life for a friend. Our days are short, but now they'll never end. Cause the one who speaks now defends. Our defense believes.
Who's for me? Who's for you?
Who was and is to come.
Who's for me? Who's for you?
Who's the first, last word said and done.
Who's for me? Who's for you?
Who was and is to come.
Who's for me? Who's for you?
Here's the first, last word said and done. See you later.
He's for me. He's for you.
Who was and is to come.
He's for me. He's for you.
Who's the first and last word said and done.
He's for me. He's for you.
Who was and is to come.
He's for me. He's for you.
Here's the first, last word said and done. Ah, Skito! Who's for me? Who's for you? Hey, Skito, we got a comedy. Great rapping! Yeah, no problem. Thanks so much. Hey, Skito, I thought you were going to bring us some news today. Wait a second. Well, anyway, I'll go back. I see the boys and girls. We say, hey, how you like that? Who's for me? Who's for you? My God, stood in my shoes. Now, what we got here? Skito do memory verse. Don't be afraid, just believe. Ding! That's the remedy, boys and girls. No matter what, not the tennis ball, and not the clappy spin thing, but believe, put your trust in a Jesus who has the power to save over all things, both now and if not, forever. That's right, a future that is rock solid in the mighty Son of God. Let's have a look at what you did today. But they crossed the other side. Somebody not happy, somebody scared. Before Jesus. What happened? Psh! Who touch? You cannot touch. Keep your 1.5, boys and girls. But what? She not keep 1.5, but her faith saved her. Jesus cared, that's right. Jesus alive. Jesus power to save. That's right, boys and girls. No matter what, Jesus, and only Jesus. Put your faith in him, huh? All right. So, what else we got today? You got any more questions? You got any more things you want to say? Well, remember, ding! Make sure you go to antonsantics.com and sign up with an email from your parent or your own and get a free video and worksheet to do while you're in isolation. It's great fun. You're going to love it. Plus, you'll hear when the next video comes live. Ding! Don't forget, the videos, boys and girls, are posted when we finish up on YouTube as well. So check into YouTube, Anton's Antics on YouTube, and make sure you are following the channel so that you get notifications of the latest video. All right? That way you can watch them again whenever you want to. All right? Pretty good, huh? All right, so make sure those two things, antonsantics.com and YouTube. All right, so I'm going to see if we got any more questions. But I think Skito wanted to share something very special with you today. So I'm going to check if he's still around, see what's going on there. All right, ciao. Now, I think we're almost done, boys and girls. But yeah, I think Skito did want to actually share something with you. So let's see if he's still around. Yeah. one thing I wanted to share with all the boys and girls, all of this coronavirus, all these things going down, all the fear, all the things that make us afraid, been doing my head in. So I thought maybe I could write a song, a little tune that would help the boys and girls. Well, I love your songs. I think they're doing great, Skito. But what you mean, a whole brand new track? Yeah, a whole brand new track. So I want to share a little bit with the boys and girls, see what they're thinking. Yeah, what's up? One thing I wanted to do with y'all today is to just share a little bit. See, the whole virus thing has been doing my head in, maybe doing your head in. And we're working through the Gospel of Mark here, 4 episodes, one more next week. We've seen the waves calmed by the power of the mighty Son of God. We've been seeing the man with the evil cast out by the mighty Son of God. And now today, the blood, exit, gone. So I've been writing a tune, and I wanted to share it with you, see what you think of the first verse so far. Is that okay? Let me know what you're thinking anyway. Here it goes. When the sky is broke and there is no rain, summer's heat turns your home to flames. When war sends people next door to flee, and the globe spreads a virus you just can't treat. When bets are off, is there a tomorrow? In toilet paper, we beg and borrow. There's a son of man who chose to obey, shut the lion's mouth, released its prey. Quiet be still, those waves knew the drill. Man's living hell, drowned in a well. 12-year bleed. Daughter, go in peace. Well, that's all I'm going to share with you right now. There's more to it than that. We're not got to the chorus. We're not got to the second verse. But we're going to keep... maybe next week I might share a little bit more. You tell us what you're thinking so far. Anyways, I just want to share that with you so that you can get thinking. Get excited. Maybe we got a new song that could drop anytime. Let's pray it does. For now, I'll catch you. Hand back to Steve-O. We'll see you later. All right, that's pretty exciting stuff. So, any ideas on how long the song might be? I mean, how far off? Yeah, we're not too sure yet. Still working on the chorus. But I hope it's not too far away. Well, you've already got a comment there. Well done, mate. That's sounding like someone likes the song so far. That's pretty cool. Yeah, great new song. Skito, awesome. Well, that's pretty exciting. Great response to have that straight up off the bat, mate. Yeah, thanks so much. All right, so a few things to let you know. Hey guys, welcome back. It's so good to have you here again and to have your questions and comments. I think I might have missed the questions. Yeah, could you grab those? Sorry, I left them over there. So we've got a few questions, which is always appreciated. Next week, don't forget, we will be back with the final episode in Freedom from Fear, chapter 4, or episode 4. So we have a question. Elise asked, does anyone think they know what the illness was? Well, lots of people do discuss it. It's a good question, at least. Lots of people discuss the question of what the disease actually is, but Mark doesn't actually tell us. And all we know is it just was a continual bleed, so it meant she kept being isolated from everybody. And so, some people suggest it might be a post-pregnancy issue that, her womb doesn't heal properly, or it could be that, her monthly period just doesn't stop. So we're not sure, though. It could be something else, and we're not told. So all we can know is that this is a very, uncomfortable, embarrassing, and socially isolating disease and problem in her body. And 12 years of isolation is a long time, isn't it? I mean, how good would it be just to have that fixed in a flash? I mean, at the moment with the coronavirus, we're trying this, we're trying that. Doctors are not sure what the remedy is. They're not sure we understand the virus, and we're throwing everything we've got at it. It's a bit like the woman, isn't it? But Jesus, his power, turned off like a tap. So, but good question. Mark 5:36, don't be afraid, just believe. Absolutely, that's correct memory verse. Well done for remembering that. Where was Jesus preaching? Yeah, we're told it was the other side to the Gerasene. So there's the more Gentile side of the Lake of Galilee or the Sea of Galilee, and Jesus sailed across again to the other side to another region, presumably a slightly different place because he was getting around that region preaching and teaching to where he left off before when they went from and caught the storm. So we're not sure of the exact location though. Another question from Elise. Did Jesus heal the girl? Now, stay tuned. That is a wonderful question because next week we return to Mark chapter 5, the end of Mark chapter 5. You can read it and have a look at it and have your questions ready because next week's Mother's Day. So we're going to do a great, awesome Mother's Day show. Cheery subject. It's Freedom from Fear, part 4, every mother's worst nightmare. So, yeah, tune in for that. It's going to be a great episode, don't worry. It's going to be full of joy, full of fun, full of entertainment, but also the Bible story about what happens to Jairus' daughter and how we can be free from fear from what happens in that story. I won't give too much away, it'll be a spoiler, but, yeah, Jesus is going to go and follow Jairus in the next episode. So we'll come back to that. So please join us next week, same Anton time, same Anton channel. Have your questions, comments ready. Go to antons.com, sign up, get the video, follow us on YouTube so that you can get the latest videos as they're posted. But yeah, be ready for Freedom from Fear Part 4 next week, 10 a.m. Sydney time, on Facebook Live here for the episode of Every Mother's Worst Nightmare. Righto, well let's wrap it out, or not wrap it out, but let's play it out to say goodbye and thank you for joining us with Anton's song. So we'll see you next week, guys. Thanks for tuning in. So good to have you. Share this with your friends. Tell them to join us next time. Hold a watch party. Let's get a crowd going. A big crowd across the world. Glad to hear about you. See you later.